Hello, Apparition. Hello, Jackie. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Seabed. Last time, I had no idea how, but this is somehow turning into a horror novel with old Aunt Lily telling us some ghost stories about something that happened to her friend in the past. And Jesus Christ. Damn, that freaking jump scare. I swear. It's like all of a sudden out of nowhere, this random realistic picture of like a negative of a face or something that was just, Jesus Christ. Like, I wonder if that has anything to do with the disappearance disease type thing. Because her friend, she said, was taken away by the ghosts. So I wonder in Takako's side if that has to do with the disappearance disease thing. Hello, Void Dweller. Welcome to the stream. So, they also said that the resort used to be a sanatorium. So maybe you gotta wonder now. Was Takako sent back in time or something? Like, I don't know what was This is crazy. But then there's the whole missing link. The missing link of the girl. I keep forgetting everyone's names. The girl who loves to read. Berncastle girl. I have a feeling she's going to be the key to all of this. Because she's the only character that has appeared in both stories. Alright, without further ado, let's get back into it. I sensed the shadow pass over the yellow light, filtering through my eyelids. Egged by curiosity, I opened my eyes to see what it was. That's who it was, Apparition Kozue. Yes, yes. Slanted sun rays covered the table I'd been hugging, creating a gleaming patchwork of light as they passed through the branches of the camphor tree beyond the window. Oh, Narasaki! These clothing, it reminds me of Texas from Arknights. In my still blurry field of view, I spotted Narasaki standing by the bookshelf. Hello, T. Welcome to the stream. When did you come here? Oh, good morning. A blanket slid down my shoulders as I raised my upper body. I felt dizzy and pressed my thumbs against my temples. I had a dream. What kind? Well, after I straightened my back and used my palm to iron out the wrinkles on my clothes, I began telling her about the dream. The misty haze blanketing my mind slowly withdrew. Does that question have something to do with my condition? Not really, said Narasaki as she sat down in the chair before me. I read a book about the interpretation of dreams the other day. Oh? That sounds interesting. Though it doesn't sound much like you. The corners of Narasaki's lips curled up. I'm sure I've said this before, but I've got a profound sense of curiosity. Anyway, my dream started with me and Takako on the bus. It was going through what looked like the countryside, and then got into a tunnel. Passing that, we emerged into a city I've never seen before. I got worried, and after discussing it with Takako, got off the bus together. We walked around a bit, but no matter where we went, The place felt completely unfamiliar to us. Then Takako, being Takako, said she wanted to climb the mountain we saw in the distance. She said she could figure out where we were from a higher vantage point. So we climbed that mountain together. The details had become foggy by now, but I could remember the gist of it. Does that tell you anything?
At least 3 things, I guess.
From just that?
First, riding in the bus symbolizes being influenced by others, regardless of your will. The place you don't know represents your dissatisfaction and wish for a change in your current life. Finally, climbing a mountain means working hard towards a certain goal.
Well, does any of those ring a bell?
Oh, well, does any of those ring a bell?
Well, when you put it like that. Now that I thought about it, the whole thing about the bus and how we got off reminded me of how Takako and I quit our jobs in the city.
What happened afterwards?
Then, it all kind of changed. Before I knew it, I was dreaming about going to my old home in the country. The city turned into my old town, but we were still climbing a steep hill together.
Yeah, I remember our old town having a lot of tall hills.
Yeah, when we reached the top, we could see the entire place from high above. We sat down on a bench and gazed at the sunset for a while. Then is when I realized I lost my wallet, but I found it almost immediately afterwards. The money in it was all gone, but I was just happy to have it back. Also, like, for your driver's license and stuff like that. Narasaki's expression grew somewhat mellow.
That's good. They say that seeing the countryside in your dreams means your mind is stabilizing itself, and that your imagination has become richer.
Really? I didn't necessarily feel that way, but her previous comments hit close to the mark, so hearing that made me feel a little relieved.
Losing something means being turned down in love, while finding something means being successful in your romantic relationship.
Oh my god, yes! Woo! So what does it mean if you lose something but find it soon afterwards?
I'm not sure.
Yes! Oh, that sounds good! Woo! Woo! Oh my god! Maybe that might mean that. I get it. It's because Takako lost her memory. Or some of it at least. So she'll eventually get Takako back, but her memory is gone. Just like the money is gone. But she'll just be so glad to have Takako back. Yes! Somehow, some way. Oh my god. Oh my god! Narasaki shook her head, making an embarrassed smile.
Well, it's pretty much fortune telling, so don't take it too seriously. Unless you're in the middle of a visual novel where someone just had a dream and that's being interpreted. Then you take it very, very seriously.
The first part felt accurate enough, but I'm not sure about the rest.
Well, the point is that you have fun. I'm surprised you remember everything so well, though.
I'm good at remembering dreams. And I get tired easily these days, so I keep falling asleep everywhere. Mood. I suppose shallow sleep like that results in a lot of dreams.
Is that what your dream ended?
No, there's a bit more. Later, I met a person that claimed to know me, even though I didn't recognize them. Still, they said we were in the same class. When I tried thinking about it, I realized that this person participated in the party we had shortly before we left to move to the city.
What kind of person was it? In dreams, people you don't know tend to be your idolized versions of various traits.
Really? I couldn't see their face, though. And the dream ended there.
So did that partly actually happen in the real world?
I felt a little strange.
Something wrong?
I tried remembering who that person was, but couldn't. And when I thought about the party, I realized there was something that happened in another dream I had. I'd totally forgotten about it until then, though.
A lot of crazy dream stuff is happening. Like, the story keeps changing gears. Like, you never know, like, what the story is truly about. Is it fantasy, sci-fi, like, or something like... It's just going totally crazy. Or maybe by some weird twist of fate, there's no supernatural elements at all. Who knows? Like... Because everything is presented so chill and realistically. You mean you remember one of your dreams in another dream? Yep, that's happened to me before.
I think so, yes. Narasaki slowly recrossed her legs.
Well, it's hardly an impossible phenomenon.
Remembering other dreams inside a dream?
Yeah, though I've never experienced it myself.
Really?
When you're awake, it's difficult to remember dreams, but easy to recall things you did during your waking hours. The opposite is also true.
Why does it work that way?
Because your memories are separated into two categories. One pertaining to reality, another to dreams. Your brain can tell when you're dreaming and stores your dream memories in a different place, so the two don't get mixed up.
So you're saying it's easier to remember dreams when you're dreaming?
It's probably a bit more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it.
Oh. So there are memories particular to dreams. I thought that dreams were just random images your brain assigned to this disjointed noise that went through your mind as you slept. Narasaki shook her head with a smile.
I think that happens too, but you also dream when you're asleep. As for the accuracy of dream memories, I don't think your memories of reality are all that much different.
I suppose so. I experienced that firsthand. You really do know a lot of things, Narasaki.
I've just had an opportunity to research this stuff for something else.
What exactly did you research?
Well...
People store all the things they see and hear in their head, right?
Oh, that's probably her. People store all the things they see and hear in their head, right? However, some things are stored in a way you can remember and use them, while others are impossible to consciously pull out. You still with me?
Yeah, I think so.
They're called conscious memories and subconscious memories. Both are memories, but you only have access to the conscious ones. I was contemplating if one could prove the existence of a subconscious thought system, constantly using those memories as well.
I'm not sure I understand. What happens if you prove that?
Well, all I want to know is how things work.
Narasaki looked out the window. The evening sun illuminated her red hair, making it look almost like flames.
Oh, that's right. The bird we saw yesterday is called a red-flanked bluetail. It's a winter bird that comes here from Shikoku.
You looked it up?
There was a bird encyclopedia in the library. It made a brief mention of unhemispheric slow-wave sleep. Birds that travel long distances over the seasons have evolved so that they can put half their brain to sleep, while the other remains alert. Apparently, it's not just birds either. Dolphins and seals are also capable of sleeping with one of their eyes closed.
That's convenient. I wonder if I could work 24 hours a day, if I could pull that off.
As long as they abolish the overtime agreement of the Labor Standards Act.
It's actually quite interesting. Can such a thing really be possible? Narasaki inhaled a breath and smiled. I wonder what one side of their brain thinks as the other sleeps. And if it's conscious of the memory... Oh,
I wonder what one side of their brain thinks as the other sleeps. And if it's conscious of the memories of their dreams. Or if the half that slept remembers what happened during the time the other half was awake. I don't remember anything from when I sleep, so I imagine they wouldn't either.
is that so? Feeling my hands grow cold, I stuck them under the blanket covering my lap. Narasaki noticed and followed my motions with her gaze.
What's your plan for today?
I might just go back to my room and sleep.
You're going to sleep again?
My vision suddenly grew dark as I stood up. my vision making sure not to panic. I lowered my head a bit and endured it. I've been feeling very sleepy lately. I don't know if it's because I changed beds, but I seemed unable to get proper rest. God damn it, I went on this whole freaking vacation so I could get more rest.
The hallucinations might be one of the factors exhausting you.
I saw Narasaki hold out her hand, and after a few seconds of staring at it, I entered at the blanket. I'm no longer seeing them. Thanks.
Is that so? What are you gonna do after this?
I have no plans. Narasaki,
Yeah?
you once said that there existed another world in one's head.
Yeah, I did.
And Takako is there, isn't she? Narasaki slightly cocked her head, then nodded.
I was thinking about what kind of place it might be. You know, Takako lived there.
And what conclusion did you come to? The branches in front of the window trembled. Narasaki gave them a sidelong glance. There seemed to have been a bird there, but it had since flown away.
I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she's seeing the past like I did during her hypnosis. Or maybe she feels as though she's in a dream.
Both of those sound closer to a dream, but I believe it's much closer to the real world than you think.
You know what it's like?
Well, I can make an educated guess at least. Let's start from how it differs from reality. First, the passage of time must be quite vague, since you're creating the story from your subconsciousness. No one remembers every little detail that happens during the day.
But reality is like that as well, no?
Yep. So no one in your world would notice anything strange. On the things you forget or are unable to remember simply disappear without a trace.
Are there any other differences?
The sun rises in the west and sets in the east.
Why?
Sorry, I made it sound more confusing than I should have. It's because of how your eyes work. Your brain recognizes light as it strikes your retinas at the back of your eyes. However, since it passes through the lens in your eye, your brain actually gets an inverted image that also has left and right backwards. However, in your world, no one is seeing their surroundings with their eyes. As such, top and bottom spells right and left are inverted.
That sounds weird. If the cause is physical, such as the eyes inverting things, then wouldn't we all perceive our surroundings the same way in both worlds? No matter how I looked at it, Narasaki's statement didn't match much things. Didn't make much sense either. Besides, there were no means to check or test how things were supposed to work in that hypothetical world. Anyway, how could she be so certain? You didn't just come up with all this on the spot, did you? I gave Narasaki an incredulous look.
Whoops. You got me.
After that, Narasaki accompanied me back to my room, then soon left, saying she had to return the blanket. As soon as I mustered the willpower to get out of bed, I heard a knock on the door.
Hey.
I circled around the bed and turned the knob, opening the door. What greeted me was someone's forehead near the bottom of my field of vision. It was Kozue, holding a book.
Hello.
Here. I inspected the title of the book she handed me. It seemed to be an encyclopedia about plants and animals. I returned to my gaze to Kozue and saw her looking somewhere behind my back. Is this for me? I asked. She looked up at me, her thin brows knitted. Is this for me? I asked. She looked up at me, her thin brows knitted. But after a few moments, Kozue seemed to have shifted her gaze back to the room. I realized it was the interior that seemed to have sparked her interest. Would you like to see the inside of the room? I opened the door wide and moved away from the doorway. Instead of going in, though, Kozue looked up at me again and asked if I wasn't going to sleep. Oh, it's fine. It's still too early for bed anyway. After a few seconds of hesitation, Kozue finally stepped into the room. She momentarily glanced back as I closed the door, but soon returned her gaze to the room, looking over at the ceiling and the walls. Is she trying to spot differences or something? As Kozue moved toward the cabinet, I picked up a cardigan from the dresser's chair and put it over my shoulders. I then sat down in the chair by the window and opened up the book she had brought. Flipping through a few pages, I saw introductions of various plants and animals, all illustrated with large, colorful pictures. The table of contents listed a number of different animal names. Though thick, the book was easy to carry in one hand. I imagined it was designed to allow one to quickly confirm things while out in the wilderness.
Do you like old things like this?
Not as much as you or Nanai. Why do you ask?
Few people ever come to stay here in the middle of nowhere. All their regular customers have a thing for old mansions.
I see. What did you like about old things?
Well, I suppose it's like Nanai said. You can trust them to serve you well, considering they haven't fallen apart after so many years of use. Well, I suppose it's like Nanai said. You can trust them to serve you well, considering they haven't fallen apart after so many years of use.
Kozue picked up a transparent amber key holder from the dresser. Don't take it while I'm still looking. I joked.
These antiques also make you imagine all sorts of things.
Don't take it while I'm still looking. I joked. These antiques also make you imagine all sorts of things. It's fun thinking about what kind of European lady might have once been reflected with this mirror in the past, or how the mirror even found its way here to begin with. It makes one wonder how the mirror must feel about reflecting a pair of black eyes and dark hair after seeing blonde hair and blue eyes all its life.
Huh.
I bet she knows. I think she's some kind of immortal or something. Kozue placed the key holder back on the dresser. Instead, she picked up a glass toy from it and sat down in the chair facing me.
Did you come here alone?
She asked. That is a very suspicious thing to ask, Kozue. Yes, but she might be back any minute. The glass toy had seaweed and fish painted on it. The glass toy had seaweed and fish painted on it. It was filled with water and small rings of various colors. There was also a pole inside which, to my understanding, was used to catch those rings. Kozue pushed a button at the bottom of the case, which made the colored rings dance all over the case due to the artificial current. Oh, that's nostalgic. Oh, well, that's nostalgic. There was a similar toy in the beauty salon I used to visit.
Huh?
She pushed the button harder, trying to collect the rings on the edges, but instead ended up losing the one she had already caught. She pushed the button harder, trying to collect the rings on the edges, but instead ended up losing the one she had already caught. She furrowed her brows. I shifted my gaze back to my book and turned to the page about winter.
Oh, almost forgot. Thanks for the other day,
said Kozue with certain abruptness. Oh my god. Don't worry about it. I had fun too. I found a cute picture of a long-tailed teat. There were four of them on a long tree branch. They looked all like tiny white balls of fur, with black spots for the eyes and beaks. The one on the far left was looking straight at the camera. The one on the far left was looking straight at the camera. With his head tilted to the side, it appeared almost befuddled. Feeling someone's gaze on me, I looked up from the book. Kozue had stopped playing with her rings and was looking at me. The irises of her big eyes gave me a long, hard stare, as if trying to penetrate my very soul. Is something the matter? Is something the matter?
You're weird.
I had never seen irises as light in color as hers. Combined with her refined features, Kozue's gaze appears almost uncanny. I swear, if she is a witch, I fucking swear I'm gonna lose it if she's a witch. Most people would have trouble meeting a gaze like hers.
Me? Really?
But I was told the same thing, that I'm weird.
But I was told the same thing. That I'm weird.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
My uncle. And my physics teacher.
I tried imagining the context where that could have happened, but nothing concrete came to mind. What do you think is weird about you?
I don't know.
Then what do you think is weird about me?
You're like me, and yet you also keep talking to me. And you have this odd, mysterious feel about you.
Kozo is a bit too forward for her own good, and her glare could occasionally be intimidating. But given her cute looks, a Approaching and talking to her didn't feel all that odd to me. Or perhaps my trip to a faraway place had left me in a state of mild euphoria, which could have impeded my judgment. I honestly couldn't tell. There are all sorts of people in the world. I told her I wasn't that weird. Kozue, however, seemed hesitant to believe in me. As I strolled through the inner yard, escorting Kozue outside, I spotted Nanai through the cafeteria's window. Nanai seemed deep in thought, staring at the surface of the table. She failed to notice me even as I approached the window. Nanai also seemed deep in thought, staring at the surface of the table. She failed to notice me even as I approached the window. I lightly knocked on the window glass. Though initially startled, she turned to me with a smile. She made a gesture, inviting me inside. As I had no other plans anyway, I entered the building through the side doors and continued down to the cafeteria. Inside, Nana was examining a large piece of paper, a floor plan of sorts spread on the table. Inside, Nana was examining a large piece of paper, a floor plan of sorts spread out on the table, along with a bunch of pictures depicting furniture. Oh, are we gonna see? Sorry, what? Umineko has ruined that word for me. Absolutely ruined it. I bought some new furniture, so I was thinking of redecorating a few rooms. I see. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the large piece of paper was the floor plan of the mansion, complete with Nanai's hand-drawn sketches of each individual room's interior. She also had the pictures of furniture aligned to each room, making the floor plan easier to understand. Some of them seemed to have been taken back in their home countries, while others were shot in this very mansion. I wonder if this is the free clothing that she got from her friend. How do y'all want to change it? Oh, how do you want to change it? Oh, I felt our lobby was a bit too empty, so I was thinking to place a bookcase there. And these two rooms have too much of a country atmosphere compared to the rest, so I want to make them more traditionally Western. Nana showed me the pictures of the room. I see. And these are the new furniture. Yeah. Nana nodded as I looked over the pictures. Do you often do this kind of redecoration? Oh, once a year, so it's more like a hobby of mine, to be honest. Hobby? Yeah, it's like a hobby. I'm turning this place into something closer to my ideal. And what kind of ideal is that exactly? Well, in short, an old western mansion like those ones you see in movies and visual novels, Rokonjimas. The very first owner of this place was actually a westerner, and it used to be the exact style I like. Then people came in and fucked it up. Unfortunately, next owner thought the place felt old and dusty, so we decided to replace all the furniture with more modern stuff. Well, it wasn't particularly ugly or anything, but my mother took over the mansion before it changed everything. I want to unify the atmosphere to match either of those two styles, and if possible, I prefer the original, old-fashioned one. I see. I mean, most of our guests are into historical things like that. Why else would they visit a place out here in the middle of nowhere? Nana returned to her work, rearranging the pictures while mumbling to herself. Maybe I should change the chair and the shelf in this room and place the remaining table in this one. Like this. Nanai rearranged the pictures and gave me a what do you think kind of look. I think that sounds nice. But don't you think those tables and chairs are far too big for this room? Depending on where you place the chairs, you might have trouble opening the doors of the wardrobe. Nana gave the floor plan another look. Y'all have a point. I guess I can't change the tables in this room after all. Oh, fiddlesticks. Said can't table in this room after all. What do y'all think about this new reading corner? Said reading corner was situated in an extra space in the lobby. It consisted of a small bookshelf, a small knee-high round table, and a large one-seater sofa. I think it's nice, but maybe a bit too functional if you're going for atmosphere. For example, if you put a shelf against the wall in between the entrance and the corridor, use this tall writing desk instead of the small table, then put your sofa here. Don't you think it looks better that way? I rearranged her pictures. Yeah, you're right. Dang it! It definitely is looking good. It's like a small study now. It makes me want to add a bit more miscellaneous fluff, though, like a desk lamp and such. Oh, that's definitely not Sachiko. It makes me want to add a bit more miscellaneous fluff, though, like a desk lamp and such. She pulled out an album with pictures of all sorts of decorations. I think we're kind of well past the point of decorations. Y- y'all seem to be enjoying this. Oh, you seem to be enjoying this. I am! I love stuff like this. I enjoy imagining how my guests would use them and such. For example, this chair in the lobby is real comfortable. It's perfect for reading a book in the afternoon with some light coming in through the stained glass. It's calming enough to make y'all forget about the passage of time and let you get immersed in your book or newspaper or whatever. So once the sun begins to set, the light falling on you from this angle will serve as a reminder of what time it is. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Nanai. But once the sun begins to set, the light falling on y'all from this angle will serve as a reminder of what time it is. But you already have that big clock in the lobby. Oh, it's gonna be so comfortable, you'll forget all about it! I tried hard to recall the last time I focused so hard on my reading that I completely blocked out the sounds from the outside world. But soon gave up and just gave her a patronizing okay. I'm serious. Well, I understand what you're trying to say, more or less. Really? She gave me a skeptical look, but her expression soon changed. Oh, that's right. Y'all are like a professional as far as design is concerned. I guess you would understand a creative spirit. It wasn't me, but a friend of mine in kindergarten built a waterway in the sandbox to amuse herself. Oh, I'm sorry, God damn it, I keep getting slopped. It wasn't me. But a friend of mine in kindergarten built a waterway in the sandbox to amuse herself. Huh? Nana knitted her eyebrows and gave me a puzzled look. You dig a bunch of little ditches in the sandbox, like a labyrinth, then use a gardening hose to fill them with water. I showed her the size of the ditches with my fingers. The ones who had to pay the water bill probably weren't too amused. I nodded. You'll bet. It was a sandbox behind our apartment. Oh, sorry. That's still Sachiko. You bet. It was a sandbox behind our apartment, and the landlord was fuming when he found out what she was doing. Apparently, the park behind our building was also his property, and he was responsible for water bills. Anyway, you can make tunnels, mountains, and lakes in the sand like that. When I asked her why she went to such lengths for a simple game, she said she made it so that the tadpoles and water striders wouldn't be bored. I actually did spot some water striders in her waterways. Most of them flew away soon after, but one continued along the waterway, even passing under the tunnel. I think I get the picture, but I'm not sure how to feel about being compared to that. Nana made a complex expression, smiling with her lips and eyes while knitting her eyebrows in a display of embarrassment. I suppose so. I was thinking of using an example. I was thinking of using an example with a deserted island or a diorama. I chose a more unusual one instead. I'm kind of curious about that deserted island now. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped that line. I suppose so. I was thinking of using an example with a deserted island or a diorama, but chose a more unusual one instead. I'm kind of curious about that deserted island now. But that girl who made waterways in the sand, well, she later turned out to be quite talented in the field of design. Oh, I guess that makes it better. I do admit this place is like my personal miniature garden, or sandbox. I think everyone has something like that. Oh, I think everyone has something like that, just on a different scale. I guess so. Exactly what kind of Western mansion do you want to turn this place into? I want to turn it into the mansion from Umaneko. I'm trying to recreate the style of when this mansion was actually used as a normal residence. My mother showed me some old pictures of the place, and I got totally enthralled by them. Back then, though, I wasn't entirely sure what made me feel that way. And now? Now I pause to think for a few more moments. Well, one thing I can tell is that it's completely different from what we have now. I mean, back in those days, the Western design incorporated a variety of styles, sometimes mixing Renaissance, Neoclassical, Vienna succession, and other approaches. I think one of the charms that got me was how it seemed to favor style over functionality. That's true, Void Dweller. How much do you think this would all cost? Sounds like it would all cost a fortune. But, they are rich. Like, everyone in this story is fairly well off. None of them are Kinzo rich, but I'd say of them all, Nana is probably the closest. But this is again Japan in the 1980s, where people had money. Our modern architecture copied the functional parts of Western style, but they valued artistic merit just as much as convenience. What we all currently have is the result of an attempt to speedily rebuild Japan after the war, as well as make sure our cities don't fall apart during earthquakes. The epitome of efficiency and minimal costs. Smiling, Nana snapped her fingers as I replied. That's exactly right. All this historical background is precisely what I love about old architecture. I think this is I think this is still Nanai somehow. That's exactly right! All this historical background is precisely what I love about old architecture. The current design of Western mansions was born as a result of trial and error approach of various artists who all had their own ideas of what the perfect work should look like. When you all stand in an old room like that, you can't help but feel the anxiety and anticipation of the old early modern age! However, just as y'all said, these kind of mansions stopped being built after the war, giving way for more functional structures. Our cities took a completely different shape compared to what those artists of old envisioned. Woohoo! It's like the war made our paths diverge. Like some kind of divergent timeline in the attractor field and such. Whew! Woo, Nelly! I got a bit too excited there. Mansions kind of make my heart race. I just love architecture! So when I'm in a place like this, I get the sense of being abandoned by time. A vague and poignant emptiness, similar to watching dinosaur bones in a museum. The strong and deep emotions of old have seeped into the very walls of such places, silently drifting in the air all around people like us, ignorant of time. Anyway, this feeling is precisely what draws me to antiques. I imagine that must have been pretty hard to understand. Sorry, I get kind of carried away. No, despite that being a giant info dump, I think I can empathize with that on some level. Whee! I kind of just blurted out whatever popped up into my mind, so I'm glad it made some iota of sense. It's a complex feeling, but I think I've experienced it myself. Now I don't have a water bottle, but that's okay, Void Dweller. The coffee tends to, I drink before. The stream tends to stop my mouth from getting dry. Nice. I obviously didn't think about it that deeply as a child, but the feeling I get when I saw those pictures was something similar, I think. I was seeing it for the first time, yet for some reason, I felt somewhat nostalgic and lonely. I guess I've liked complex feelings like that ever since I was young. Anyway, I ended up going off on quite the tangent there. But basically, I want to turn this mansion into the kind of place that gives me the same kind of feeling as those pictures. I'm not one for flattery, but I sure do gosh darn love this place. Oh, that was the other. I'm not one for flattery, but I do like this place. Oh, shucks. Thank y'all. I tried. But it definitely doesn't feel complete yet. There's still a bunch of rooms that feel like they could use some work, especially when y'all compare them to those pictures. Atmosphere isn't easy to recreate. Yeah. After all, it's usually the unique sensitivities of the age that translate into peculiarities of design. Perhaps it's impossible to perfectly recreate it to begin with. However, if I wait for the place to age naturally, I'll end up 6 feet under before I achieve anything I'm satisfied with. So you're planning to do as much as you can for now? Yeah! Nanai answered, flashing a happy smile. Anyway, will y'all help me on this? Now that you heard my story and everything! Please, I'm begging you, Sachiko. Help out a poor innocent country girl on her quest to make the ultimate Western mansion! You know what? Sure. To the best of my abilities, at least. Woo-wee! I sat down in the chair facing Nanai. She too lowered herself into a nearby seat. We spent some time discussing the layout of the rooms in the mansion. We kept rearranging pictures and sketching new plans. We exchanged ideas, nodded to each other, or shook our heads. I don't know how it works, Void Dweller. It just works for me. Whenever there was a prolonged period of silence, Nana would start humming a song under her breath. A song that most people had likely heard at one point in their lives. Is Nanai like... Nanai and Takako are definitely connected in some way. I fucking swear, they've gotta be connected in some way. And Sachiko has to be connected to the other girl. In Takako's face. They've gotta be. They're too similar to each other. At first, I didn't pay it much attention, but the more she repeated that one phrase. Why does Mary only ever have sheep? Huh? I guess that's just the first thing that came to the mind of whoever wrote it. Oh. Mary had a little lamb, I see. Now that y'all asked, I wonder who Mary even is. She's a girl with sheep. A character in some Western folktale. That song was actually from folktale? Mary Sawyer takes a sheep to the school, which causes a commotion. Seriously? I've always thought that Mary was the name of the sheep. If that was the case, you'd end up with a sheep owning a sheep. Sheep slavery. I guess so. That's why I thought it was weird. I guess I'm just plain stupid. I'm just an idiot. Nana chuckled to herself. I couldn't help but chuckling myself. I bet Auntie doesn't know either. Let's tell her later. I feel like she would know. I wouldn't be so sure about that. I really love Nanai. This chapter has really kind of made me really love Nanai and appreciate her. She's just so warm and friendly. She really is just like Takako. She is so sweet. Nanai returned her eyes to the pictures and resumed her work. I started moving my hands as well. Whew. I think this is about it. It didn't take us long, as Nana had already more or less decided what she wanted from her lobby and 2 rooms before I came. Okay, so first, we have to actually set up the furniture and see things for ourselves before we can come to a decision. Nana uttered under her breath. When will that be? Well, still a ways off. Some of the furniture hasn't even been delivered yet. I'd love to do it right away, but, you know, what can you do? Nana began clearing the pictures and drafts from the table. I stuffed the writing utensils in a case I found lying around. I see. Nana thanked me as I handed her the case. Like, if Takako dyed her hair, I could see Like, I don't know, it's just... Takako and Nanai have to be connected. There's gotta be, just like Sachiko and the other girl are connected. There's some crazy weird dimension magic shit. Or sci-fi, I don't know. I'm leaning more towards magic. I can definitely tell you're a professional. I think these rooms are going to look real awesome now. Oh, I can definitely tell you're a professional. I think these rooms are going to look real awesome now. I'm glad to have been of help. And it was more fun to do it together. I'll prepare y'all something great for dinner as a token of my appreciation. That sounds lovely. Nana stretched her back and walked off to the counter, saying she'll make some more coffee. I leaned back against the chair while seeing her off. I gotta say, I love this room. I love how this room looks. I suddenly felt my body become very heavy. Uh-oh, narcolepsy time. Chico. I felt like someone had just called out to me. Opening my eyes, I saw Nanai right in front of me. There were 2 cups of steaming coffee on the table. Did y'all get tired? Seems that way. I've been feeling kind of easily fatigued lately. Seriously, mood. Like, I have had such an issue with feeling easily tired lately. It's really fucking annoying. It seems no matter how much I catch up on my sleep, I just feel constantly tired. It is the most annoying fucking thing. I fucking swear, seriously. Oh, hold on a second. I just have to take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back. Alright. I'm back. Seems that way. I've been feeling kind of easily fatigued lately. I brought the cup closer to my chest, letting the smell of the coffee dispel some of my drowsiness. Are y'all having enough rest? Yes. I see. If there's a problem with the room or something, don't hesitate to tell me. Thanks, but I like that room. There are no problems as far as I'm aware. I swirled the coffee in the cup a little before taking a sip. I felt its bitterness spread across my tongue. By the way, have y'all spoken with Auntie since then? Huh? No. Why? The last time I spoke to her was when I went to her underground room with Kozue and Narasaki. She was asleep the entire time she was there with Narasaki, and that's hilarious. Oh my god. At least I didn't remember talking to her ever since then. She was asking about y'all, so I wondered if maybe something happened. Nothing did as far as I'm aware. Probably because she was asleep. Oh god, I am drawing a blank here about the underground room. With Kozue and Narasaki. Underground, damn it. If someone reminds me of when that was, I'd probably remember it. I just can't remember something like that happening. Damn it, now I'm the one with memory loss. Anyway, yeah, if someone can remind me if that, like, I don't remember that happening. Damn. Huh. Oh, okay. I thought they were outside when that happened. Okay. Thanks, Jackie. Yeah, I thought they were outside. Okay, I see. Nana returned to our eyes to the pictures and began doing something again. My auntie looks like she has her head in the clouds, but she's actually extremely sharp. I lost something a few times. When I had already given up on seeing them ever again, she just found them right away after hearing a few clues. I don't know why, but when the locals around here have problems, they tend to go to her for advice. Huh. Losing things. I wonder if that has to do with the other timeline. If y'all got something on your mind, you can try talking to her. I recall the laid-back air Lily had when we met her. I had to admit she did feel like someone you could rely on. I see you trust her quite a bit. Oh, I just trust your vast life experience. I'll make sure to talk to her if I find myself troubled by something. Oh, please do. She's a real good listener. Now that I think about it, maybe she just wants to speak to someone new, which perfectly explains her interest in y'all. As we finished our coffee, Nana stood up and collected all the materials we piled up in the corner of the table. I think I'll go start preparing dinner. Do y'all have any other plans for today? No. Would you like me to help you with the cooking? Oh, there's no need for that, sweetheart. Y'all are a guest here, Sachiko. You should relax. We left the cafeteria together and parted ways in the lobby. God, I love the music and atmosphere of this story. Top notch. Top fucking notch. I love the sound design is amazing for the low budget it has. Seriously. Phenomenal. Like, it just sets the mood so well. It's you know what it reminds me of in terms of music and overall atmosphere? Valhalla. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Just that such a chill atmosphere where characters are just talking to each other about stuff calmly, like, but it's still so interesting. Makes it finds its way to be so interesting. That's the exact kind of atmosphere this reminds me of Valhalla. And if you haven't played Valhalla and if you love visual novels, then what the fuck are you doing? Go out and play that game. Really good. I can't wait for the sequel to come out. I'll probably let's play that, based on how much I love the first one. Knock, knock. I heard a knock at the door. It's me. I'm coming in. I hope that's not Narasaki, because then... Damn it! It's me. I'm coming in. Did you like my Nana impression? I sat up in bed just as someone entered the room. The person closed the door and turned around to face me. Is something wrong? I looked at her face, narrowing my eyes. Narasaki? Huh? Are you still half asleep? That's strange. I thought I locked the door. Narasaki made a puzzled expression and tried the knob again. Well, it certainly wasn't locked unless I'm strong enough to break the door without noticing it. Are you already going to sleep? If that's the case, I'll go find something else to do. It's okay. I thought it was too early to sleep anyway. I'd rather not wake up in the middle of the night later. Okay then. Narasaki sat down in the chair at the end of the room, right next to the window. The same one she used when we played chess. I feel like I've already had a conversation like this with someone before. Not with me, I hope. Oh, I feel like I've already had a conversation like this with someone before. Not with me, I hope. Narasaki shrugged her shoulders. For some reason, even an exaggerated motion like that looked natural when she did it. That's right. Kozue came to my room during the afternoon. You get Undertale vibes? I think that also is a valid comparison, especially in Snowden Town. Yeah, and Waterfall. I can totally see that. Void Dweller, yeah. That's right. Kozue came to my room during the afternoon. She brought this book with her. I imagine it was a bird encyclopedia. Oh, here it is.
Oh, I imagine it was a bird encyclopedia. Oh, here it is.
Narasaki picked up the book from the table.
So she really did look for it. I'll have to thank her later.
I nodded. Just as I figured, it was something Narasaki asked of her.
What were you doing today?
Oh, what were you doing today?
Oh, I went to watch the lake early in the morning, then I looked something up in the library until noon, and then I guess I played house for a while.
You played house? I was almost sure I had misheard. Narasaki made a meaningful smile.
Well, what were you doing then?
I was working.
Working?
I tried climbing out of bed, but Narasaki said there was no need. As I was hesitating, Narasaki handed me the cardigan from the chair. I took it from her and placed it over my shoulders.
So what was that you said about work?
I'm not quite sure what game you're talking about, Void Dweller. I told Narasaki about how I helped Nanai redesign her rooms.
Miniature garden, huh? I love stuff like that too.
Really?
A while back, I played a game where you were the mayor and had to build a whole new town. It's pretty cool. Sim City 1.0.
I know that one. Takako liked those kinds of games too.
You build houses, roads, museums, and so on. But then you gotta worry about natural disasters and Godzilla coming to wreck your city, and it's pretty cool if you're into that kind of genre. It took me forever until I figured out how the electricity plant worked.
Oh, Void Dweller. She meant she was playing house. You know, like playing house with the little kid, with the little girl with the dolls. But figuring things out is the part you love, no?
Yeah, that's right.
There was an odd pause in her answer. I felt like her easygoing attitude wavered for a barely perceptible moment. However, I couldn't quite ask her about it in a way that made sense, so I had no choice but to change the subject. Have you spoken to Lily since then?
Oh, I had a chat with her while you were sleeping at the end of the corridor.
I see.
Why are you asking?
Nanai told me to talk to her if I ever had something on my mind. Narasaki seemed to fall deep in thought. I feel like everyone's been worrying about me ever since I came here. I wonder if I come off strange.
You don't need to worry about being a little strange. Everyone's strange in their own way. It's what makes us unique. We're not manufactured in a factory, you know.
Then why is it always me?
Everyone's more or less strange, but some are better at hiding it than others. They do it unconsciously, though.
Well, I can imagine reading the mood and not standing out. But isn't it a problem when you can't act normal even when you try? I'm not trying to make everyone worry about me. Narasaki lightly shook her head.
I'd say you're actually better at that than most. But right now you're tired and it's not working as well as usual.
I let out a sigh.
Is there anything in particular bothering you?
I remembered what I was thinking about in bed before Narasaki came. I was mulling over what you said about the structure of my hallucinations.
You mean how you forgot all about the funeral and the date of the trip?
Yes. The way I created an alternate office in my head, so I could trick myself into thinking Takako was still around.
Huh.
I'm not the kind of person who usually dwells on her past, so I thought I wouldn't have made up such a ridiculous story. But after our conversations, I began wondering if I couldn't have done it without my knowledge. I'm not quite sure how to explain it, but I did something creative today for the first time in a long while, and it was really fun. Nana seemed to be having fun too, so I asked her why. She said it was fun to imagine how someone would sit in the same chair we relocated to the lobby, and I found myself agreeing. I paused there. I hadn't really collected my thoughts just yet.
You mean like imagining Takako sitting in that chair?
Yes. I do it doing work too, but even in the past, I kept imagining similar things as I read books. So the fact that I came up with an alternate office in my head wasn't all that strange either. You said there was a reason for it?
I did.
It might just be that I wanted to meet Takako again, even if it was just through a farce.
So you're saying you made up Takako just like that lobby's design?
That was the idea.
I guess that's possible.
I pulled out one hand from under the sheets and showed Narasaki my palm and knuckles. I'm trying to figure out who's saying this.
When you're creating something, you keep imagining people seeing.
I think this might be, Sachiko. When you're creating something, you keep imagining people seeing and using it. You have to judge it from various perspectives. You imagine what it's going to be and how it's going to be used. And then you start thinking from the viewpoint of those people watching or using it. Yay! Okay. Both Takako and I loved imagining such things. And that's why we chose this kind of field of work.
I see. You two did have pretty active imaginations. I wouldn't be surprised if yours worked to serve one of your unconscious cravings.
That's what I've been thinking after designing the room with Nanai. An unconscious craving, huh?
Oh. An unconscious craving, huh? However, you should know that it stops being unconscious the moment you acknowledge it. Now that you're aware of Takako's situation, there's no reason why you should keep seeing her.
Yes. What's your opinion about that? Narasaki slumped in the chair and crossed her legs. Her index finger and thumb were on her chin, indicating that she was deep in thought.
I think you're on the right track.
Don't you find it a bit too simple, though?
Well, it depends on how you feel about it. Remember that it's all inside you.
Oh. It makes sense at the very least. Narasaki pulled out her usual notebook from her pocket, placed it on the table, and flipped it open.
Is there anything in particular bothering you?
She asked, taking out her pen. I suppose the explanation makes sense. But then what about the hallucination I saw the night you came?
As I said before, you don't get cured overnight. Have you seen anything else since then?
No. That was the only one since coming here. Okay, but even if we say that my hallucination's been more or less cured, what about the ringing in my ears? I haven't had that since coming here either. Could it have been a result of the stress caused by the hallucinations?
I don't know, but that sounds like a solid guess.
Narasaki placed the pen on the table with an audible bump. She quickly picked it up again, surprised by the sound she herself had caused.
Anything else?
Those were the only things bothering me. Other than that, and I've said this before, I feel unusually exhausted and sleep a lot.
They say that your brain arranges information in your head as you sleep. Maybe it's related to the fact that you're on your way to getting better. Or perhaps you simply don't get enough sleep at night. For example, you keep thinking about these things in bed instead of sleeping. In any case, I don't think you should pay it too much mind. You're on vacation. You can sleep as much as you want.
I could sleep as much as I wanted.
I suppose so.
Narasaki made a gentle smile as I said that. Suddenly, I felt an odd sense of discomfort reminiscent of a tiny drop of water falling on my head. I have a feeling I'll be able to sleep well today. Thanks for hearing me out.
It's no problem. I mean, that's what I came here for.
I thought back on that odd sense of discomfort from just a moment ago. I realized why I felt that. Because Narasaki's smile seemed somehow different from the way she usually smiled back at the clinic. You're going to sleep? It was still early, and talking made my drowsiness go away. I felt like talking a bit more.
Nah, I'll stay awake for a while longer.
Okay. Narasaki smiled. Then we shifted to the subject of interpretation of dreams.
Do you have these kinds of dreams a lot?
Narasaki asked. Yeah, I tend to dream of places I've never been to before. I also have episodes from my actual past sometimes.
I'd love to hear about your other dreams, provided you can still remember them.
Well, you know how dreams are. I barely remember anything.
Oh, that's fine. Just tell me what you can remember.
I told Narasaki about what I dreamed about recently. She kept taking notes in her notebook. She didn't write down everything, though. At times, she simply listened. And that's about it. I told her everything I could remember. Narasaki was still writing something in her notebook. Our conversation came to an end around the time the clock struck 10. I thanked Narasaki again. However, she went this again and said it was no problem at all, then left the room. I turned off the lights and closed my eyes. For the first time in a long while, I fell asleep right away. I had a dream of my past again. Do you know if this dream section here is a long or short apparition? I'm just curious. Yeah, it's time for a dream sequence. I just want to know if you think it's pretty short, Jackie? Okay. The sand in the sandbox was powder-like, as though it was delivered here straight from the beach. I could spot pink and white pieces of shells mixed into it. Takako overturned her water-filled bucket. As the sand absorbed water and changed color, she scooped up a handful and put it on top of her mountain. He reached all the way up to her belly button.
This should be good enough. Let's make a tunnel next. Start digging from that side.
Takako started digging without waiting for my reply. The sand was still wet and showed no signs of crumbling away, even when I dug a hole in it. I continued digging until my hand passed through it and touched something soft. Takako tried to catch my hand, so I pulled it away.
We have to connect it properly so it can pass through.
What can pass through? We made both our holes wider and strengthened their walls with more wet sand.
We're going to make a water channel pass through this. I'll bring the water hose once we make a place for a waterfall right here.
They're going to be angry again if we use the hose without permission.
Relax. I'll make sure they don't find out.
Smug baby Takako is too cute. Oh my god. We continued working in silence. Oh, that's quite a mountain there. And I see you've even made it. Okay. Oh, that's quite a mountain there. And I see you've even made a tunnel.
Oh, this nurse.
The kindergarten nurse came to check on us. She wore an apron with pink tulips embroidered on it. I wonder if Lily is the nurse.
What are you making? Right now, waterway.
Oh, but you can't fill the sandbox with water.
Relax. We'll make sure they don't find out.
Takako continued working in silence. Oh my god. Okay, you guys. Lily's routine, eh? With that, I think, yeah, we'll save it for next time. In 2 days, we will continue Seabed. I gotta say, I love this lovely chill story, seriously. Seriously, thank you so much for joining me on for Seabed. I am really enjoying the hell out of this story. It's like relaxing and has a ton of intrigue and sweet moments all at the same time. I really, really like this. Oh, that's right, Thursday. That's true. Not in 2 days, but yeah, Thursday. This is continuing on Thursday. And tomorrow is more Higurashi. And yeah, Higurashi should be done in about a week. So, yeah. Yeah, at least for the foreseeable future. So, yeah, until next time, I will say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You are all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.